So this is a topic that's been bothering me for a really long time. Some of you, or maybe all of you, have heard of a so-called transgender activist from Canada named Jessica Yaniv. Jessica, I don't believe Jessica's transgender. I'm just going to put that out there. I believe, or maybe she is, and I'm using that pronoun just because, but I really believe that she is abusing the rights that have been given to transgender people to be a pervert. She goes after young girls. She seems to like young girls. I want to say some of the stories started out with Jessica messaging underage girls, pretty young girls, like 12, 13, 14, maybe even pretending to be an admin for something that the girls were involved in, but started sending them pretty gross and sexual texts. I believe one of the messages that was sent to the one girl actually said, "Ew, somebody just sent me child porn." And then the next message that came in said, "Do you want to see it?" And this person is grown, 20s, 30s at least. So she's sending these sexually charged, sexually explicit messages to underage girls, even before she came out as trans, when she was still presenting as Jonathan Yaniv. There seem to be some issues with obsession with tampons and maxi pads. I'm not sure who the messages were to, but there was a lot of messages written by Jessica asking people, what should she do if she's in a bathroom and an 11-year-old suddenly gets their period for the first time, and they need someone to show them how to use a pad or a tampon. Should she do it? And this was a recurring theme that just kept coming up and coming up. Asking several different people, asking questions about what it's like to be in a girl's locker room. Do girls walk around with their boobs out? Can you see their tampon strings hanging out? Just really, really bizarre stuff. There's been an issue also with her taking pictures of herself in public women's restrooms, and usually there are young girls in the background of these photos. Obviously not using the bathroom, but still. The pictures seem, and in these pictures, she's not really presenting as a female. It just looks male to me. So that would have made me a little uncomfortable. Then I think one of the things that really made her famous was the quote-unquote wax my balls suits. I'm not sure they're exactly lawsuits. I think there's some kind of community complaint thing or whatever, but it's some kind of lawsuit in Canada. Apparently, Jessica targeted Asian women. I'm not sure, like Filipino maybe, I'm not sure, but immigrant women who do waxing services for women out of their homes. And Jessica contacted them and never really let on that they were trans, pre-op trans, and tried to set up all these appointments. And then when she admitted that she was pre-op trans, these women were like, I can't do that. Like I said, they worked from home. Some of them had their kids at home with them, or maybe they were home alone. And each one of these salons or, waxing service places she filed complaints and sued these people, putting pretty much all of them out of business, from what I understand. Just one after another after another. And that was really ridiculous. That's, I think where she really became famous. There was talk about it, but there was like some kind of a gag order in Canada on the subject. So it wasn't until some certain point when that was lifted that all of it came out. But there were people already talking about it who kind of, I guess, were in the know. That was like pretty disgusting. And then right after that, there was an incident where Jessica was promoting a topless pool party for teens and preteens. No guardians allowed. No parents or guardians allowed. This was like, that to me is so disgusting. You're saying you're going to take somebody's kid, have them be half naked, and you can't have the parent around. I just don't understand the mentality that makes someone think that that's okay to even put out there. But I swear she does a lot of this stuff just for attention. And that can be really frustrating. Interestingly, I say a lot. There's a conservative transgender YouTuber named Blair White. If you don't know about her, you should check her out. She's pretty cool. I watch most of her videos. But she did this like debate. They Skyped or whatever you call it with each other. And at one point, Jessica goes and gets a maxi pad out of her purse and brings it back and like waves it in front of the camera, talking about how she actually has periods. And, I want to say she claimed to be hermaphrodite, maybe. So like having a penis and still having a period or something. Blair was pretty much like, bullshit. And kind of made fun of the need for her to bring that pad out and show it. And Blair's like calling her out on all of this other stuff, especially the stuff, about the kids. And regarding the kids also, there's a freaky voice clip sent by Yaniv to one of the young girls that some of this started out with, imitating Elmo, the Sesame Street guy, but saying sexual stuff to the girls. It is really disturbing. I mean, if you want to give yourself a little nightmare, I'm sure you can find it out there somewhere, but it's so disturbing. Anyway, at another point in the live stream that they did together, I'm not sure what the conversation was. I can't remember because I watched the live stream. Yaniv was talking about not having to be afraid in her own community, and again she goes to her purse and comes back and shows off a taser, and these are illegal in Canada, just saying, and just kind of has this little, almost a smirk on her face. And Blair White was just like, was that a moment for you? And I lost it. I think that became a meme. She even made some t-shirts out of it. It was pretty funny. But the most recent things, I mean, that was a while ago that they debated. And Blair got Jessica to admit to some stuff that I was kind of surprised that she would admit to. I'm sure that the video is still up on Blair's channel. If you got time, check it out. I want to say it's like an hour or so long. But then we get to the current stuff that's going on with Jessica. And I'm not sure how the whole thing started, but there's a news organization from Canada called Rebel Media, And they've sent some of their reporters to cover some of the stuff going on with Jessica, like with the lawsuits and whatnot. And they ask questions. They follow her, through the parking lot or whatever, asking questions. And pretty much every time she's gotten violent, like hitting people with canes and punching and, just everything, chasing people around. And then her mother is like this older woman with an accent. I wish I knew what the accent was. But she's fiercely protective of Jessica, and will run after and try and hit and chase off anybody that tries to talk to her daughter. But David, I'm blanking on his name, David something, is one of their reporters. And I want to say that's who it was that, like, they blocked his car in, and maybe it wasn't David, but it was some reporter. She blocked their car in, but then just kept screaming at them to leave. It's ridiculous. And then there was another time a Rebel Media reporter named Keen Bexty, I think that's how he says his name, went to cover it. And I want to say twice she attacked him, at two different times, but at least once. Just kept hitting him and chasing him, telling him to get away from her. Like that's a crazy person. That's just an insane person. And as soon as she sees these people from Rebel Media, she just goes insane. And so the last person they sent to cover some of the stuff, because then she got arrested for assaulting, I think it was Keen Bexty. And so I want to say her name is Sheila Gunn Reed. I should look this stuff up before I do this. I looked some other stuff up. But a woman named Sheila that is on Rebel Media, she's been going to cover the Yaniv saga. But she was smart. She saw what happened to the other reporters, and she hired 2 bodyguards. And one of the times that she went there with the bodyguards to confront her, Yaniv actually went after her, and the bodyguards just slipped in there so quick and blocked her. And it was almost like they just blocked everything. It's like the whole energy just got blocked away. And I don't think that Yaniv or her mom, who was coming over to be violent as well, had any idea what to do. Suddenly there are these 2 very large men just standing in their way, not allowing them to hit the reporter. And this person is just insane. And one of the latest things, I want to say this is like the most recent thing I've heard, is Yaniv tweeted about being referred to an OBGYN, a gynecologist, for whatever reason. And when trying to make an appointment, was told, sorry, but, we kind of take care of parts that you don't have, body parts that you don't have. And so now Yaniv is filing some kind of lawsuit against the doctor's office for refusing to do a vaginal exam on her penis. I don't know what she was expecting other than knowing that they weren't going to be able to do what she wanted. Pretty sure that was the whole point. So now apparently she's filed suit against this doctor, which, again, I think that's ridiculous. One thing I forgot to mention, when she was in the lawsuits over the ball waxing situation, not only did she lose those suits, but in several of the cases, she was actually ordered to pay the victims like $2,000 a piece or something like that. I want to say there were 3, so it would be like $6,000 that those frivolous lawsuits, as they called them, cost Yaniv. But apparently she didn't learn her lesson, because here she is filing a suit against a gynecologist, a vagina doctor, when she doesn't have a vagina. that this person is insane. They're a child predator. Who knows what else is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about right now? I don't know. This person makes me very angry. I should have said this at the beginning. I have no problem with transgender people. I used to live in San Francisco. I used to volunteer alongside transgender people. I used to volunteer at places where we provided services for transgender people. And when I worked alongside several transgender people because I worked in a very social justice type situation. A couple of them, I didn't even know they were trans until it was brought up in like a meeting or something. So I have absolutely no issue with trans people. Be who you want to be, dress how you want. I'll call you whatever name you want to be called. I'll even use whatever pronoun you want, as long as it's male or female. I'll use they, but I'm not going to use these I'm not going to use made up words. Basically, you either have an X chromosome or a Y chromosome. And that's, I don't know, like I said, this person is crazy and is totally abusing the system. Transgender people have been fighting for certain rights to be able to go places and do things that maybe they haven't traditionally been able to do. We had the big controversy here in the States about, transgender bathroom bills and whatnot. So, there's issues. There's been bills passed for it and whatnot. These protections, I guess, that transgender people have really fought for and worked hard to achieve. Jessica Yaniv is abusing that, is totally taking advantage of these, not privileges, I don't want to call it privileges, but the courtesy, someone said, that we extend to transgender people to accept them the way they are and allow them into certain spaces. Yaniv is totally taking advantage of that, and that really pisses me off. Not only because Jessica's acting like a predator, I'm 100% certain that she is, but, allegedly a predator. I suppose I should have said allegedly about all of this. But she's abusing that. So not only is she being a predator, but she's embodying every fear that some of the conservatives in the States had about the transgender bathroom issues. So I'm not, I lost my train of thought, but she's abusing it. Embodying all the fears that some of the more conservative people here in the States had about allowing transgender people into the bathroom of their gender identity. So anyway, just totally taking advantage of that and making trans people look bad in the process. Every fear that people who are against transgender people using their preferred bathrooms is right there in Jessica Yaniv. Every fear is right there. Creeping on every little kid in there. I think grown women are safe around Yaniv, other than maybe her trying to hit them. But she creeps on kids. So she's really because I'm sure there are some other creeps who happen to be transgender. There are creeps in every, identity that there can be. Black, white, male, female, gay, straight, trans, cis. So, again, I keep losing my train of thought. I think I smoke too much weed. I'm not sure that Yaniv has really done much that's actually illegal, even though all of the people on YouTube that I have seen make videos about her or talk about her are just really hoping, beyond hope, that Jessica Yaniv ends up in jail. That's like number one thing. Let's get Jessica Yaniv put in jail, and then that guy Onision. Let's get those two arrested this year, and we'll have done everything we need to do. So I think I'm starting to repeat myself, but this person is disgusting. And if you're one of the people that had fears about transgender people in public bathrooms, this is not normal. I've shared a bathroom with lots and lots of trans women, and never, ever once have I felt like they were trying to be a creep. They were just in there to pee just like I was. So people like this just need to be not online. Like, I can't say censor, because except for the pedo shit, that definitely censor that. But as far as, just being online and complaining that she can't get her balls waxed, or she can't get her penis looked at by a vagina doctor, that I don't really care about, other than it making trans people look bad. That's her right to say those things. And hopefully the trans community will fight back. I know Blair White is. I know Rose of Dawn is another more conservative transgender YouTuber that I watch sometimes. They've really been on this story and are disgusted by Yaniv and just, like I said, want her in jail. So if you come across this person, or if you have kids and your kids somehow come across this person, run. Don't have anything to do with them. Talk about toxic people. Jessica Yaniv is a very toxic person. Like I said, there's videos about some of this stuff out there that you can go and watch. Like, I really suggest you watch the Blair White live stream that she did, and if you can handle the extreme creep and cringe, check out that Elmo voice clip. I don't ever want to hear it again. It's like nightmare fuel. But yeah, there's videos of the Rebel Media reporters being assaulted. Check out all of that if you want to find out more about Jessica. But this is one of those rare instances where I'm like, this trans person or fake trans person needs to be gone. Needs to be treated just like any other person who's going to act like a creep or a predator. Shouldn't get any special privileges just because she's presenting as trans. So, I don't know. I'm just a big dummy anyway, like I said before.